Hi YouTube, Tamara here, and let's talk about BookTubeAthon and Camp NaNoWriMo in that order. Let's get started. This is coming a little bit late to you. For that, I humbly apologize. On Sunday, there was the whole hurricane hitting the island thing, and honestly, it just kind of got pushed into the back of my priority list, and I do apologize because I really enjoy talking to you guys and telling you about my writing and my books. Without further ado, please accept my humble apologies, and I'll tell you about my BookTubeAthon experience. With BookTubeAthon, I made a video that talked about my to be read list, or my TBR, and I will link that up here and downstairs so you can check that out if you'd like. The problem is that I am really terrible at sticking to TBRs. I like making them because I enjoy making lists. However, I am a person who basically reads based on mood. So, if I ain't in the mood to read it, I'm not going to. With this TBR, I only read one book off of that list, Nora Roberts' Obsession. I am using a different editing software, so hopefully I could put a picture on here so you can see the cover. If not, I'm going to have a link to these two books in the description. You can check them out if you'd like. It's a book that takes place in West Virginia, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to read it, because in case you didn't know, I am from West Virginia, and it's different to find books that are based there. Of course, it was Nora Roberts, one of her newer thrillers, so it wasn't the happiest of settings, really. And I like the way this book was set up. It started off with the protagonist, which I can't remember her name, as when she was young, and she discovered something terrible about her family, and then it goes through some of her growing stages and some of her different years and different tragedies, and then the majority of the book, or at least the second half of the book, takes place as her as an adult, where she meets the man and things happen, and some of the stuff from her past crops up in her present. I gave this book, I think, 4 out of 5 stars. I'm a person, when I read something, I don't need for it to be unpredictable. I'm more interested in the journey and how we get there as opposed to the answer itself, at least with books. With movies, I don't know, there's a different thought process, so I always I'm in there trying to guess what's going to happen next. But with books, I try not to, though sometimes it does happen, and that's okay. I wouldn't say that her book was entirely unpredictable, but I liked how she got to those points, if that makes sense. The second book I read was The Hero of Ages by Brandon Anderson. Have you read the Bourne Trilogy? If you like high fantasy, if you like magic systems, if you like intricate plots, if you like books that talk about religion and government, and just, I loved it. I love this trilogy. I was totally into the way this book ended the trilogy. I still feel like Miss Bourne, the first book, was the strongest of the 3. However, I was not disappointed. I loved it, and I recommend it to anyone who likes fantasy, especially high fantasy and adult fantasy, adult literature, blah, 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 blah. So let's talk about Camp NaNoWriMo. Today is July 27th. I hadn't logged on to the campnanowrimo.org site for this entire month. I didn't even remember what my goal was, but here is my page. I don't even know if that registers. So my target word count was 40,000 words. Now what this means is that when you are editing for Camp NaNoWriMo, 1 hour of editing equals 1,000 words. So I was planning on editing this novel for 40 hours, which is reasonable, definitely reasonable. Unfortunately, I did not keep to that, and I have edited for 5 hours or 5,000 words this month. So there's 5 days left of camp, and in order to reach my goal, I need to edit 7. I just saw that my average words per day was 185. That's sad. In order to finish on time, I need to edit 7,000 words per day. Can I do it? I'm not sure. I know that I would be able to write that many words a day. I've done 10K days, and I could definitely write 7,000 words a day. But the editing takes a different part of the brain, I think, and it's just a different experience for me. So I don't know. I'm gonna try though. So check back after July's over, and I will tell you how it went on August the 1st or the 2nd, or first time using this camera phone, and I'm getting used to it. But I only recorded I recorded 3 clips on my camera, but for some reason it filled up my card, so I didn't get a chance to say thanks for watching. My name is Tamara, and I put videos out on YouTube about books and writing, and usually there's 1 or 2 videos per week. And please leave comments down below. Did you do BookTubeAthon? Did you read any books this past week? How did it go? Let me know. Are you doing Camp NaNoWriMo? Are you writing stuff? Let me know about that too, because I want to know all the things. And I'll see you in the next one.